Hello everybody, today's video is brought to you by the most persistent brand partner we've ever worked with, Wash and Go. When I think back to the first phone call I had with Mr. Wash and Go, I even said, why are you so persistent in getting me involved as an ambassador for Wash and Go? Do you know what they said? They said, because you embody everything our brand's about. And I thought, you're with it. You know what you're on about it. You're a brand about the town. Because when I think about Wash and Go, I think 2 in 1. And when I think about myself, which isn't very often, but when I do think about it, I think, yes, 2 in 1. Presenter, international sex symbol. I also find that Wash and Go is extremely fast and efficient as a brand to use. And, well, that's me as well. Just ask Mrs. Goldbridge. You know, there's nothing I can't do too quickly. And on top of that, when I think about Twitter, I think, well, effectively, in a very watered down version, most people are replying to me saying WashAndGoBridge. So when I think about it, it really is a no-brainer. Mark Goldbridge, Wash and Go. A match like no other. Enjoy the clip. Talk about, we come up with a topic for half time. And this is going to be it. So combined top 4 combined 11. Now, unfortunately, and just to show that this channel's for everybody, please do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Last time I checked, we're only 20 subscribers away from 605,000. In the interest of fairness, I'm not going to do it top 4 right now because West Ham would be in the top 4, but their game's not over yet. So we're going to use the top 4 as Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea and Arsenal. So Man United are not involved in this, I'm afraid. What do you think about the tens of millions protesting across the world? I don't know, over the woo. What, I don't know what that is, so I can't comment on it. Well, in my imagination, says Red Baron about financial fair play. So it's going to be Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool and Manchester City. And we're going to do a combined 11 out of the top 4. Embarrassing as a United fan that we're not involved in this debate, but get used to it. Next season you're going to be back in the Europa League anyway by the sounds of it. So let's start off with the goalkeeper. The 4 teams we're doing a combined 11 for are Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester City and Liverpool. Straight away, the goalkeeper, I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be really interesting. You know, people do combined 11s off 2 teams. We're doing it off 4 teams. Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool. Who's going to be in goal? And we're going to do the manager as well. At least Newcastle have a big fan base unlike City, says Jacka. So, goalkeeper is either Mendy, Alisson, Ederson, or, you know, Ramsdale. I'm going to say that the captain... Oh, we'll do the captain as well. Who would I go with? I think it's really difficult. It's really difficult. I do rate Mendy. Ramsdale's been fantastic this season. And Ederson and Alisson are considered 2 of the best goalkeepers in the world. So, where are you going to go? A lot of people saying Mendy. A lot of people saying Ramsdale. Some people are saying Alisson. The thing is, no one's going to say Ederson because Man City haven't got any fans. So, the vast majority of the chat, I've got to say, are going with Mendy. So, we're going to go Mendy in goal. I'm going to listen to the chat on this. So, Mendy in goal. Right back, we're going to play a 4-2-3-1. So we'll play with 2 midfielders, a number 10, 2 wide players and a striker. And a back 4. So we've got Mendy in goal. Our right back is going to be either Reece James, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Tomiyasu, or... Well, who do you want to put for your Man City right back? Because Cancelo could play right back or he could play left back. A lot of people are saying Trent. If it's between Trent and James, personally I think Reece James because he's more balanced. Trent is brilliant going forward, but defensively he gives me nightmares. I think Reece James is good going forward and good at the back. So Reece James would be my choice over Trent. The only thing I would say is if you want to put Cancelo right back, I would probably do that as well. So I wouldn't put Tomiyasu ahead of any of those, no. So The chat says Trent, so I'm going to put Trent at right back. I'm going to listen to the chat. I'm only going to tell you what I would do. I would have. I'll give you mine, and we're doing yours. So centre backs, you can go Van Dijk and Diaz. Are you going to any advance on that? Do you want to put Rudiger in? You're not going to put anyone from Arsenal in, to be fair. Yeah, I'd say Van Dijk and Diaz for centre backs. Unless you, I mean, Rudiger's got to be in the equation. Rudiger's got to be a conversation. If you're playing a back three, you would, or a back five, you would put Rudiger, Van Dijk, and Diaz. So which one would you do? I personally think Van Dijk and Diaz have got to get it, but Rudiger, I think, has been brilliant over the last year. A few people are saying Diaz and Rudiger. Van Dijk and Rudiger, a few. Let's have a look what people are doing. There is a bit of a mix, but most people are saying, a lot of people are putting Rudiger in now. Okay, Van Dijk and Rudiger. So it's Van Dijk and Rudiger. I'm going with the chat on what's the majority. So we've our team so far is Mendy, Trent, Van Dijk, Rudiger. Who's your left back? Are you going to go Robertson, Chilwell, Cancelo, or Tierney? Now we'll find out whether we've got any Arsenal fans. Cancelo's winning that one easily. So your back four is your back five is Mendy, Trent, Van Dijk, Diaz, Cancelo. Not a bad back five. I will compare yours to mine in a moment. So your two holding midfielders. This is interesting because you can have Fabinho, Rodri, Jorginho, or Partey. You can also have Kovacic, Kante, Gundogan, Henderson, Xhaka. You've got to come up with a midfield two out of those two. So let me know in the chat. I mean, I personally would not go with Rodri and Fabinho because I think they're too similar. I wouldn't go with Jorginho and Rodri either. I think you've got to go with a combination. You either go with Fabinho and Gundogan, or you go with Jorginho and Gundogan, or you go with a Rodri and a Kovacic. Yeah, I don't think I would go Rodri and Fabinho. I don't think I would go Kovacic and Gundogan. I think you've got to have that balance. Rodri and Jorginho, says Malavia. I mean, I don't think that would work that well. I think they're both sitters. Tillemans isn't in the top four, Chester. We're talking about top four combined 11 here. Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, we're only about 20 away from 605,000. Everyone's welcome on here. Give me your combinations. Fabinho and Kante. I like that one, James. Rodri and Kante's getting a few. Kante and Gundogan, yeah, it's very hard. I mean, it's very hard all over, but you've got so many combinations in that midfield. The vast majority is Fabinho and Kante, so there you go. You've got your midfield two. No one's saying Xhaka or Partey, surprisingly. Who's going to be your number 10? De Bruyne, Mason Mount, Havertz maybe, Odegaard, Smith Rowe. Liverpool don't really have a number 10. I mean, I suppose in this system it probably doesn't help Liverpool. You're probably not going to put anybody there. I mean, I suppose you could play Jota there. I think for me, you could play Bernardo Silva there, although you might want to put him on the wing. Although thinking about who's probably going to be on the wing, it's surely. I mean, Ed Sheeran's getting a shout. Fanta Pants, yeah. It's got to be De Bruyne, hasn't it? Really. There's a few Bernardo Silvas, there's a few Mason Mounts, but I'd say it's got to be De Bruyne. And the vast majority are saying De Bruyne. So you've got De Bruyne there. You've got a good team here. So your team so far is Mendy, Trent, Van Dijk, Rudiger, Cancelo, Kante, Fabinho, De Bruyne. Can't argue with that. Wide players, left and right. Put them both together. You could have Mane and Salah. You could have Saka there from Arsenal. You could have Pulisic. You could have Ziyech. You could put Werner there if you wanted to. At Man City, you could have Grealish. You could have Sterling. You could have Bernardo Silva. I think I know who we would go with, but I think there's probably a few. Some are saying Salah, Saka. Smith Rowe's getting mentioned a bit. Bernardo Silva's getting mentioned as well. Mane and Bernardo Silva. Sterling, Salah and Mane. Why are people putting threes? You're going to have a striker. You only need two. Son's not in the top four. You can't put him. Silva and Salah. Mane and Salah. Salah and Silva. Salah, Mane. I'm trying. It's hard with this one because getting a lot in. It's close. It's between Silva and Salah. All right, tell me then, Silva or Mane to go with Salah, because there's so many combinations. It's definitely Salah and Mane, or it's Salah and Silva. So who are you going? I think Silva's won it. So it's Salah and Silva. Striker. Lukaku. Jesus. Jota. I mean, the strikers are not actually that good. I've got to say, Jota, Firmino, Jesus. You could play Bernardo Silva there as a false nine if you want to, but you're not, unless Pep's your manager. I wouldn't do that. Arsenal, bloody Lacazette. Or would you play Aubameyang? Chelsea have got Lukaku. You know, who would you play as your number 9? It's a shame Ronaldo's not. It's a shame United aren't in the top 4, because it would be Ronaldo, wouldn't it? But we're not doing. We're doing a top 4 here. You could put Sterling there if you wanted to as well. Yeah, no United players because we're doing a top 4. United aren't in the top 4. Lukaku wins with you, okay. And before I give you your 11, who's your manager? Pep, Klopp, Tuchel, or Arteta? I'm not that. I like Arteta, but it's unfair to put him in that. So, who's going to be your manager? Pep, Klopp, Tuchel. There is an Arteta there from Ankith, brave man. Oh God, this is difficult. Tuchel, Klopp, Ollie. We've got one from Ollie for Ollie. Okay, it's Pep. It's definitely Pep. So you're. I'm going to give you mine now. By looking at the chat and going with the majority, your combined 11 from the top 4 with your manager, and then you can tell me who your captain's going to be. Your team is Mendy in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk and Rudiger, Cancelo, Fabinho and Kante, De Bruyne is your 10, Salah, Silva, Lukaku, and Pep's your manager. Your captain. Who's your captain? You can't be Aspilicueta because he's not in the team, KW. So you've got to pick and Van Dijk's the captain. Okay, no problem at all. So your team, Mendy, Trent, Van Dijk, Rudiger, Cancelo, Kante, Fabinho, De Bruyne, Silva, Salah, Lukaku, and Pep. My team, I'm going to shock people and say Ramsdale. I'm going to put Reece James at right back. I'm going to play Van Dijk and I'm going to play Diaz. At left back, I'm going to put Cancelo, I agree. My midfield 2 is going to be Fabinho and Gundogan. My number 10 is going to be De Bruyne. My wide players are going to be... I'm actually going to go with Salah, Mane, and the striker's the hardest one of the lot. I don't really want to use Lukaku, if I'm absolutely honest with you, but the fact is that there's not really a striker I would use, so I probably would play Lukaku, but my manager would be Klopp. Because I just prefer his style of football. So the only differences I would go with you is I'd put Mane instead of Silva. I would play Gundogan instead of Kante with Fabinho. And I would put Reece James at right back instead of Trent. I'd put Ramsdale in goal instead of Mendy. and I would play Diaz with Van Dijk instead of Rudiger. So there you go.